What's up, Ateros? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a live reaction. It's a Rican reacts, and I'm gassed, bro. I'm gassed more for I'm gassed more for the day and the outcome of the day than I was for the match. Not gonna lie to you guys, it was a stinky match. It was kind of the performance that you would expect from Arsenal in a high pressure situation. However, we got the 3 points, and that's really all that matters. That's all that matters. Arsenal v Chelsea, we got the win, and we retain our lead at the top of the table. Still shaky, still 5 points, but we still leading, and that's all that matters at this point. I said to you guys yesterday in the ammo check, what do I want? I just want wins. Doesn't matter how we get them, set pieces, own goals, foolishness. Doesn't matter as long as we win. And that's what we did. We didn't play well. It wasn't that great a performance. But at the business end of the season, all that matters is the 3 points. That's all I care about. My time for wanting pretty football is gone. My time for wanting decisive wins is gone. I just want 3 points every match. And I want to stay ahead of City. That's it. We've got 9 more to go. If we can win 8 of those 9, including the one against City, then we will all be having this conversation at the end of the season that we're champions. And that's all I want. Godfrey back in the house. Thanks for coming back, Godfrey. He said, man, this team, like, making it nervy toward the end of the match. Yeah, it was. If you guys weren't aware, me and BBK Sports, me and Taryn did a watch-along. It wasn't supposed to be a watch-along. He started, and then we just, I hopped on, and we just kind of kept going. And it was great, man. I think I'm more excited for the watch-along. It's my first ever watch-along. I'm pretty sure it was his first ever watch-along as well. And I had a great time. I had a better time speaking to the community and waffling about random stuff than watching the match itself, bro. Like, there wasn't really much to watch. But one thing that we did say on the chat is, like, if you have heart issues, then you might have to stop watching out. Just look at the score. Don't actually look at the match, because, boy, I'm relatively healthy, and that had my heart racing. I thought it should have been over. I thought at 70 minutes, when they went down to 10 minutes, I thought it should have been over. But we got away with the 3 points. Godfrey said, I'm the same, just run me the 3 points. Exactly. That's all I want. At this point, it doesn't matter about styles. It doesn't matter about all I care about, at the end of that match, did we walk away with 3 points? Yes or no? That's it. I'm not going to allow myself to nitpick anymore, because he's not going to change. Our manager's not going to change. Our players aren't changing. We got who we got. This is it. Business end of the season. Last 90 days. Let's go win it. Let's talk about the match itself, and then I'll probably go through the squad and how I think they did. So when it comes to shots, Chelsea had 7. We had 10. They had 2 on target. We had 5 on target, which is great. The issue that I have is possession. At the end of this match, now, the last 26 minutes of the match, Chelsea were down to 10 men. They still had 58% possession overall, and we had 42. They had more passes, 439 to our 326, almost 100 more passes than we did. And yeah, they had, they had a guy sent off. And when he went off, I'm like, this is it. Bro, we just scored. They went off. That's the time. That's the opportunity for us to go, you know what? We're putting this away. We're winning the league. We're going to show the league that we're winning it. And we just didn't do that, man. Like, after Neto went off, I feel like Chelsea was trying to win the title. They looked like they wanted to grab another goal, and we just sat back. And this is one of the criticisms I have of Arteta. The Wolves game. There's a lot of games that we've played this year and last year especially, when we're up 10 10 matches and we drew them. Of the 14 draws, 10 we were leading. And we did the same thing. We got the lead, we sat back, and then we just kind of allowed them to come onto us. And we end up conceding most of the time. And boy, we look shaky. For a team that practices so much set pieces, a team that, we've been called set piece FC. We've been called, own goal FC. For a team that practices scoring so many set pieces, you would think that we would practice defending them. And I'm more afraid of defending a set piece than I am, wondering if we're going to score one. That's crazy to me. God would say the pressing wasn't the same as the first half. But every time we get the league, it's the same thing. My issue is we do like for likes. Like, I'm sitting on the stream with BBK, and we can basically sit there and go, this guy's coming off of this one. This guy's coming off of this one. It's very kind of like predictable. It's predictable. And it shouldn't be. Like, I shouldn't be sitting there, 70 minutes, they have a guy sent off. And I shouldn't be like, man, I wonder if our manager is going to go light for light. I should be like, I hope our manager brings off a defender. He could have brought off, let's say he brings off Timber, for example, who's leggy. And for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he goes for them. So 85th minute, he goes attacking, see what we get. And then about 90th minute, then he takes off one of the tired attackers, like Saka, like Zubamendi. And then he brings on a defender again. And then he shuts up shop. That's what I would have done. But that didn't happen. Godfrey said I was damn near worried every time Chelsea got it. I was too. I'm sweating, bro. Like, I am stressed. And I shouldn't be that stressed. I'm happy we got the 3 points. But I'm stressed, bro. I can't believe that after 70 minutes, we just allowed them to come on to us. Like, it's crazy to me. But that's how this manager goes. He wants that control. He wants to set up shop and hope for the best. And yeah, it's good sometimes, but boy, it's not good for your heart. It's not good for your health if you're sitting there watching it. Garb said, I thought the floodgates would open after Neto. I didn't think that because I know how this manager is. I hope for it, though. I hope that, he would. Because like I said, we're 10 matches to go. 9 now. 9 matches to go. We're at the business end of the season. I like to see Arteta just throw caution to the wind. Like we're going against 10 men. So statistically, you should have, an advantage. But it doesn't seem like we have that. It doesn't seem like he respects that. And imagine if they had the 11 on the pitch. Like, I'd be worried. I think that last 20 minutes, I'd be on the edge of my seat. And I was on YouTube. Like, I was trying to talk to everyone, but in the back of your mind, you're just kind of like, bro, will we concede? Will we concede? And that goal that was offside that Raya saved, and then it went, bro, when I tell you that my heart dropped to my toes, I was like, here we go again. The offside flag saved us. The offside flag, because, boy, I was like, what? Let's go to I want to go to player ratings. I want to go to player ratings, right? Because I want to talk about each individual player. I want to talk about each individual player. I think I got rid of it. The actual graphic. Let me see if I can add it. Give me a second. See if I can add it. Because I had the starting lineup because I want to go through it. Give me 1 second, guys. There it is, and it's just done me. Massive. There you go. Let's move it out the way. There we go. All right, can everybody see that? That's the starting lineup. So we're gonna go through that and kind of. There we go. So looking at that starting lineup, you got Raya. Raya for me was, I mean, I think he was the man of the match. I think Raya saved us 2 points today, and he shouldn't have had to. That's the thing for me. Like, he shouldn't have had to save us the 2 points, especially not after they went to 10 men. Like, Raya shouldn't. After they went to 10 men, Raya probably should have sat there and been like, "Yeah, I'm done. Let me just sit next to the post. Oh, they pass back to me. I'll kick it out again." That should have been all Raya was doing. But instead, it looked like we were down to 10 men. So yeah, but all in all, I think Raya's my man in the match. Um, I I mean, we won, so I'll probably give him 9 out of 10. I don't think anybody had. You know what? I give Raya 10 out of 10. I think that Raya, he was a little bit shaky, but he kept us in this. I'll give him a 10 out of 10. Timber, Timber, the goal of Timber scores is the one that wins us the game. Um, but I think he's gas, man. When I look at Timber, like the Timber that we saw last year, the Timber we saw beginning of this year, he just looks tired, bro. Like he looks exhausted. And I don't understand why you have, you know, mascara on that. Why you can't bring mascara on? You know? And yeah, Godfrey, yep, Timber was overlapping. Um, I just think I think he needs a rest. But that's the problem. Like, and this is the issue that I have with Arteta. These players look tired now because they were playing in matches they probably shouldn't have been in. Like, in the Carabao Cup when we're playing these small teams, in the Champions League when we've already got the win. These are where you should be resting these players. And now a lot of them look. Zubamendi from one, and we're gonna get on him in a minute because he will probably have one of the lower scores in my opinion. I know we won, but he'll probably have a low score for me. But as far as Yuri and Timber, yeah, I'll go 7. I'll go 7. I'll go 8 because he scored the goal. Let's go 8 because he scored the goal. And it was the winner. So I'll give him an 8, but I think he's gas. I think that, I don't know if you can do it against Brighton. You definitely can do it against Mansfield Town. You definitely correct. I think he needs a rest, bro. I'm gonna talk about Gabriel and Saliba together, right? I'm gonna talk about them together because Gabriel is one of my favorite players. I make no. For me, I like him more than I like Saliba. I love both of them, but I like Gabriel more than I like Saliba. But the last couple matches, it seems like Gabriel has gone back to being Bozo, and Saliba has gone back to being that player before we would call him the world class. That one that got loaned out. Like that's what they've been looking like. And I don't know if that's fatigue. I don't know if that's the pressure. But I mean, Gabriel, jeez. He's had a couple bozo moments in him. And Saliba had a moment too where he was getting spun. I'm just like, bro, how did you go from everyone talking about your world class to looking like Bambi on ice? Like, I'm not saying they were terrible, but there's some moments. We went. If you've been watching me, I used to call them the clean sheet crew. And now I'm just kind of like, even in our match previews, they're like, "Oh, do you think he'll keep a clean sheet?" One day, I don't trust these guys to keep a clean sheet. I'm not saying they're gonna let in 2 or 3, but I don't trust them to keep a clean sheet. And I don't know how we've gone from me just saying, that's it, they've done it, to, man, we can't keep a clean sheet. We can't keep them from scoring. It's crazy. But I'll rank them as a pair, and I'll give them both 6s. That technically, they didn't let Chelsea score. We scored for them, but I don't think it was their best performance as a center back pairing. And I think that Yuri and Timber, if he would have been a 7 and I gave him the goal, then they have to be 6s. So I'll give them both 6s. And Capia on the other side, I'll give him a 7 as well. Um, I'll give him a 7 because I think that Nkapie, I think he's growing into it. Um, I think he's going into, and I don't know if he's going to be a left back, but I like him at left back because I think he can defend, and every now and then he gives you good pass or whatnot. Um, so I'll give him a 7. I think that he's a young player, and I was talking during the stream. I'm like, man, I'm kind of glad we brought this guy. Like, I think he will be something, and him like Mascara, I think they have to be coached a little bit. But I know the one thing I can say about Mikel Arteta is he can make defenders better. He can make a good defender a good defender. So I will give Nkapie a 7. Right now, if you have a nervous disposition, if you are one who, and yeah, I purposely didn't mention the own goal. Yes, he gave the own goal, and people would probably mark him down for that. But I feel like he was jumping for the ball, and those happen, man. I don't feel like it's anything. I mean, he got a lot of height on there. I don't think that is anything that I should worry about. It's not like he scored an own goal for just being goofy. Like, he had it the ball, and they just happen. They happen. So yeah. Otherwise, solid for me, 7. Yeah. If you're in a nervous disposition, if you love our midfielders, boy, I would probably leave now because I'm not. It's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be great. Let's start with Zubamendi. Zubamendi today. How can I describe his performance? I would almost say calamitous, right? So I always, I talk about going to the Man United game that I saw in person, where he basically gifted United a goal. Today he almost did it again, and my thing with Zubamendi, and I'm not a high level footballer. I played recreationally. I'm not that great. I'm an American footballer, but when I look at some of the decisions he made, Raya passes him the ball, and then he passes back to Raya. But I know, you can see it on screen that he sees that there's a Chelsea player there. Why? Why would you give it back to Raya and you see that there's a Chelsea player in between your eye line and Raya? So even if you get the ball to him, he's going to be under pressure from the Chelsea player. Why not just turn? Or kick the ball that way? Kick the ball away from the Chelsea player. Yeah, it'll go out. But you've put us under pressure. And once again, Godfrey, yes, I know he's not good on the half turn, but you're in the Prem, bro. You got to figure it out. Or kick the ball out of touch. That's it. But kicking it back to a goalkeeper and you can see a Chelsea player there, that's not good fundamentally. Right? On top of the fact that I think that he's leggy, I also think that in some instances, bro, he looks like he's running in quicksand. And I don't want to bash play. We won, and I don't want this to be a thing where I'm just bashing play. I just want to talk about their performance. It wasn't a great performance, right? We got the 3 points, but it wasn't a great performance. I'm happy we won. But in matches like this, and you said it, Godfrey, that's what I was going to get onto. Norgard is more press resistant. But in a match where Zubamendi's got, bro, the guy's, he's going to have more minutes than I got miles to fly back to Miami. He's playing every match. He's playing every opportunity. Bro, get a man a break. Do I think that he's terrible? No, man, but he's gassed. And when you're tired, when you're leggy, you make stupid decisions. And that could have been one that cost us. Imagine if that, the Chelsea player gets on the end of that and they score. And then it's 2-1 their way instead of 2-1 for us. Or it's 2-2. We're having a different conversation. I just think that these are the instances in which Mikel Arteta has to realize that he has a big squad. Trust in Norgard. Even if you got to trust him for 45 minutes, you can trust him. He hasn't put a foot wrong yet. And it's not like Norgard's coming from the Swedish league or the Turkish league or a league that he doesn't. The man was the captain of Brentford. So he's the captain of a now mid-table team. He captained that team. He can play. He's up to par. He doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be amazing. He's up to par. That's all we need him to be. We need him to stop them from playing through the midfield and then to pass it on to the guys who can start the attack. That's what we need him to do. And Norgard can do that. But Zubimini today, 5. And I'm being generous. I'm being generous. I'm being generous. And the next guy I'm going to talk about, Declan Rice. Now, I love Declan Rice. I got his kit hanging up in the closet. I was gassed when we signed him. I think he's a workhorse. I think he's a beast. But even him today, there was some shaky moments. I mean, there's one moment where he literally just passes it out of touch for their corner. He didn't need to. But once again, I think he's gassed, bro. Like, our midfielders have to be exhausted. They have to be exhausted. Especially those two. And anytime I do a match preview, anytime I talk about the match, the thing I always say is the two in the midfield, Zubimini and Rice. If they can walk, they can play. I shouldn't be saying that. I should be saying, oh, Zubimini had a great game. He played 90 minutes. We're playing Brentford. We're playing Brighton. We're playing Burnley. Put Mazu Skelly in there. Put Norgard in there with Mazu Skelly. Do something else. These two guys play almost every game. And then you're going to ask them to play. So they're probably going to play the next match. They're probably going to get rested from Mansfield Town. And then when the Champions League come back, they play both of those matches. He's not going to sit those guys for the Champions League. So they're just going to keep playing. And I know that it's the business end of the season, but bro, you have to rest these players as well. Pep does it. Even Rossinian does it. God said, I didn't understand that pass. He still got the better Neto, and he does that. Chelsea's biggest threat was the corner as well. Yeah, I think that, Rice as a set piece taker is phenomenal, I think, when he's not tired, when he's not leggy. So I think he needs a rest as well. And I think he'll probably get one, hopefully, from Mansfield Town. Like, Mansfield Town, I don't want to see Zubimini. I don't want to see Rice. I don't want to see Timber. Right? And it's a weekend. I feel like, bro, you should just let them, even this week. Like, I shouldn't have seen them dudes in training. Like, hey, take a week off. Go, fly to Benidorm or something and come back and relax. Like, something. But I got to give Rice a 5. As much as it pains me, I got to give him a 5. I thought that at moment, he runs around, he keeps us going, but I think he's tired, and his performance, yeah, it wasn't the performance we kind of expect from Declan Rice. Eberechi Eze. Last week, and Godfrey, he said, I saw a moment where Palmer went down almost like Rice was winded trying to get his breath, and that was in the first. He's gassed. Those two are gassed. They're tired. Even if we had a week off, I don't think they were rested that week, bro. I think they're probably still running their socks off in practice. Nah, bro, you gotta let those dudes rest. But let's move on to Eberechi Eze, bro. Last match. North London Derby. We're talking about, bro, this guy needs a start. He needs a run of games. Godfrey, you in the chat. Can you tell me one thing that Eberechi Eze did today? Can you tell me one thing? I can't remember him doing anything. And I'm, like I said, we won. I'm not saying he's terrible. But we know that I feel like Eberechi Eze and Declan Rice are two types of players. And not just because of their position. Not just because of their position, but the type of player that they're going to be. Big up, Pito. Not just the type of player, but the kind of Declan Rice is usually a 7 out of 10 player plus. Every match he's going to give you 7 out of 10. You know that you're getting a good performance. I think he's gassed now, which is why I gave him a 5. But every match he's going to give you performance, steady performance. He's a steady guy, Mr. Consistent, kind of like James Milner. James Milner is not going to do anything spectacular, but every match he's going to give you consistent performance, consistent performance, consistent performance. Eberechi Eze is not that. Eberechi Eze is more of a Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil, some matches you'd be like, didn't see him out there today. But when you needed him, Ludogorets, some of those big moments, I can tie back to Mesut Ozil. And I think that's what kind of player Eberechi Eze is. I think he's a player that when you need a big moment, when you need us to, come on and you need a win, you can get that. Today, I didn't see that. And I don't want to be too harsh because we won, and I don't want to give anybody. I got to give him a 4. He's got to dip under 5, just because we talk about Ghostegaard, we talk about Odegaard not showing up. Eze did not show up today, and like Godfrey said, he did have that one shot that Sanchez was saved, but other than that, he was basically doing cardio. That's what he was. He like that guy in the NBA who just ran around. He had 0.0 assists, just passes. His job, 0 rebounds. They passed the ball to him. He passed it to somebody else, and he running up. That's what I feel like Eze did today. Pass it to somebody, I pass it to somebody else, and I run. That's it. So 4 for me. And yeah, I think 4 will be the lowest. I'm not giving anybody under a 4. But we got to talk about our attack as well. And this is the thing. Our attack 1 week can look so great. Okay. Let's talk about it, Pito. I'll lead attack for a minute. He said, let's be real, leaving out the Tottenham games, as is a candidate for flop of the season. Are we talking about Arsenal flop of the season, or are we talking about Premier League flop? Because we got some others for Premier League flop. But if we're talking about Arsenal, of the signings that we have, I don't know. I don't know if I'd put Eze above Madueke, to be fair. And I know people love Madueke, but I think the guy's only got 2 goals. I mean, Eze is at least giving us 6. He's at least giving us 6. Madueke, I think he just scored his first goal like 2-3 games ago. So I mean, I know I think people expect more out of Eze than they expect out of Madueke, which is why people are saying that he's a flop. But like Godfrey said, he's a moments player. So I don't think he's gonna give us, if Eze gets to 10 goals this season with this attack and the way that we play, I think that you can't call him a flop because last season we didn't even have a player go over 10 goals for the first time in like 100 years. So I get what you're saying, Pito. I get what you're saying, that you expect more out of him because of what he did for Crystal Palace and how he was. But in my opinion, I still think Madueke is a bigger. I mean, we paid 65 mil for that dude, so and that's what it is. So I like Eze, but I think it's difficult for him to be consistent under Arteta's system. And it is. It's difficult for all of our attackers to be consistent. It's not just him, but because he's a big money signing, because let it all work out, like because of the whole thing around it. I think that's why people are saying, yeah, he's a flop. But yeah, I wouldn't say he's flop of the season, but has he been underwhelming? Yes, I would definitely say he's been a little bit underwhelming. As far as signing, but the season's not over. There's still a moment. If he ends up scoring the winner at in the Carabao Cup, then are we still calling them a flop? Like, people forget, like, he's a moments player. If he produces those moments in the Prem, in the Cups, then we start talking about that. Right now, the moments aren't being produced. But as far as the attack overall, and we'll get into it. I'm about to get into the attack. I think that we got up for the Tottenham game because it was Tottenham, because it was away. And today, it doesn't seem like we got up for it. It seems like we used all of our superpowers to play against Tottenham. And then today, non-existent. All right. So let's talk about our attack. And these dudes getting forced to. I'm just telling you right now, the whole attack getting a 4. I'm not. They get a blanket 4 because I don't want to give anybody a 3 or a 2. I'm just giving them all blanket 4s. But I will talk about each one individually. Let's start with Trossard, Kung Fu Panda. That guy looks like he's eternally tired. He looks like he's exhausted all the time. So does what's his name? Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer looks like Cole Palmer always looks like he's just partied the night before. And that's how Trossard looks for me. He looks like he's just partied and he's gassed. Trossard, and I said this before, I said it in the watch along. Trossard is not a 90 minutes player. He may have been for Brighton, but he is not for Arsenal. Trossard is the type of player that you put on for 45 minutes and he's a player. I feel like he's another moments player. He's had some great moments. Let's be honest. Trossard has had some moments where we needed goals and he came there. But he's not a guy you can trust to play for 90 minutes. He doesn't have the legs. He doesn't have the pace. And as we saw, like Godfrey said, he almost cost us as well, dribbling players in their own box. Yes. Right? Just doing madness. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing with Arsenal. BBK said this, Terry said this. He said, we take more risks in our own box than we do in the opponent's box. Like, you look at some of our passing in our own box, and you're just like, you're trying to dummy this guy. You're trying to nutmeg this guy in our own box. You know? And then we get to the opponent box, and we touch. You're just like, bro, shoot the ball. Just shoot the ball. And that's my problem with our attackers, right? And I said that, during the Wenger years, it used to frustrate me at moments too, because I felt like sometimes we would just try to walk the ball into the back of the net instead of just taking the pop and see what happens. And we did have a couple of shots. I think Rice had it went to Narnia. It was in no man's land. It's one of those partay pigeon shots. We just like, yeah, he shot, but he probably could have chosen better, even if he had just passed it. But with Trossard, right? And there was a moment, Godfrey, as well. We had a counterattack. And I was looking at it. So I think we have a counterattack, and he was trying to find Declan Rice, but he had Saka to his right that he probably could have passed to, and Gyökeres in front of him. Instead of taking the Saka ball and hoping that Saka can maybe pass it back to him or maybe pass it to Gyökeres, he passed this timid pass to Rice, and we lose a counterattack. And that's another thing. Our counterattack was ugly. We had so many chances to counter them, and every time we went on the counter, we just made the wrong decision. Or we made the right decision without enough power, without enough pace. It was sloppy. And it's those moments that will cost you a title. It's those moments that cost you in the long run. Because let's say the set pieces weren't on today, and Chelsea get that goal. Or Chelsea get another dodgy goal, like when Garnacho scored. Then what happens? You've wasted 10 chances, and you have nothing to show for it, and you end up losing. Right? So I just think we need to be better at counterattacking. The problem is we haven't been a counterattacking team in a long while. We're a possession-based team. So now, in the business end of the season where you're trying to counter, you got guys who have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea which way to go, which way to pass the ball, because we're so used to this slow build-up, not just, all right, they're going to give us possession, they're going to lose the ball, let's go for them. Gyökeres is in good positions, Saka will get in good positions, but, yeah, 22-23 was Yeah, it was it. The last time we were that ruthless team. Now we're just so passive. Godfrey again, he says, Trossard final ball was awful, couldn't find Declan on the counter, trying to be too fancy for no reason, giving Chelsea the ball back. He actually gets a 3 for me. Yeah, I did say I'm not dropping. I'm not dropping before, below a 4. So if I'm gonna give the other guys a 4, they'll probably get like a 4.25, and he just gets a flat 4. Like I'm trying to be nice, bro. I'm trying to be nice, but yeah, Trossard, he was not great. Saka, Saka is another player where he tried some things, but like I said, it just didn't come off. And I think Saka looks a little bit leggy as well. And this is the thing that this is the problem with contracts, right? This is the problem with contracts. Because the one thing that I saw in the chat while we were doing the live stream, or people saying, we've paid you 300,000, we need more from you. And I think that's the problem when you pay a player that much money. And we saw it with Ozil. When Alexis Sanchez left and we gave Mesut Ozil that huge contract, a lot of people were just kind of like, all right, Ozil, I need to see more from you. You're making the most money. You're making the most money. You're a highest paid player. You're the guy. We've paid you the big bucks. Now do something. And Ozil never returned to that. He never returned to that imperious form. And he declined after that. And one thing I don't want to see happen to Saka, because I'm pretty sure that everybody in the chat, everybody who follows me, will agree that we love Saka. I've got Saka. Saka's one of the first player kits that I've got, because I'm not a player kit guy. I don't like getting players on the back of the shirt because they tend to leave. They can tend to get injured. From my American football days, anytime I got a player, he was gone or he was injured and he was never the same. But Saka, like you look at Saka and you just love the guy. Like you love Saka. And a lot of even my mates in the chat, they said it doesn't matter. Saka needs a lifetime contract, and I feel that, bro. I feel it because you look at Saka, and he's Arsenal. He came through the academy. He saved us at a time where he put the club on his back, right? And I get it. I get the sentiment. I get the love. But when you get paid £300,000, then you have the expectation. When you're wearing the captain's armband, because he was today, you have that expectation. And it's something that I was hoping that maybe he got a little bit later. I was hoping that when we won something, maybe you're just like, okay, we'll give him a big contract. But now that we haven't won yet, it's a lot of pressure. And what I don't want to happen is fans to start turning on Saka because he's making such high wages and he's not producing. I don't think it's his fault he's not producing. Like Godfrey said, he used to be a guy who would cook Hato, from previous seasons. He used to be a guy who would just give you something else. And today I don't know if he's leggy. I don't know if he's tired. And I know a lot of these guys are tired because they're playing a lot of minutes. But I just don't want Saka to be a Ozil. I don't want him to be a guy who we paid a lot of money. He never gets back to that. And then we pile on him because, he's our highest earner. I don't want that pressure for him. Like, I want him to do better. But I also want him to be rested. I want him, because I think that Saka will have moments now. If Odegaard is going to be out and Saka is going to be leading us, he will have to have moments to help us win. So, yeah, like I said, I gave everybody a 4, but I think Saka's gas, and I hope that, he gets a rest and he can get back to that form of where he's scoring, he's assisting, and he's making things happen. Godfrey says 300K seems to be a curse to Arsenal. We don't do it often, and when we do, the last couple players, bro, it ain't been great. We gave Alba the contract, and we saw what happened with him. We gave Ozil the contract, we saw what happened with him. Now it's Saka. I'm hoping he breaks the curse, bro. But, yeah, it's not looking good so far. Last player I got was Alba on the shirt. That was one player that I loved that I didn't get. I actually got Lacazette on the shirt. Besides Alba, because I saw him at Lyon and I was so gassed when we signed him, and he was good. He was kind of like Jesus. He was good for a little bit, and then we decided to, you know, put him as this deep line false nine thing, and it just didn't work out. American brother, screw you, Chelsea. Yep, yep, yeah, Chelsea. They took that L. They took that L. That's all I can say. They took that L. And I think that's what four times this year. I mean, that's Resenia. I think he's lost every time that we played him. So, um, who I got left? Gyökeres. Gyökeres was there was a moment where I was like, man, he got a little bit of pace. Like when he was running on the left, I was like, he got a little bit of pace. But even in that moment, Gyökeres was running, and he got onto the end of the ball, and I didn't see anybody else in the frame. I'm like, this guy has just busted a gut to run and chase this ball down on the left. Is anybody going to be trailing into the box that he can pass to? I didn't see anybody, and of course we lose the ball again. So yeah, Gyökeres, we know what we're gonna get. You know, he's a guy. He's not gonna be a guy who kind of makes the magic happen. He's a target man. He's a guy that if you find him on a run and you get him in a position to score, he will do so. And today, I don't feel like he was in a position to score. I don't feel like he had many touches, and it looked like how it did in the previous, last season actually. I mean, last year. Um, Big up, bro. That's my guy, Don. Big up. Got another meeting. Holla and come on, you Gunners. As always, it's always the Gunners. We love them over here, obviously, because we're Arsenal channel. And shout out to my South Florida Gunners, man. I love those dudes. Right? They think I'm negative, and I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to be reformed negativo. But yeah, man, they keep me going, so I appreciate it. Garb said, I'm like 1v1, surely he gets the better of Chalaba, but it wasn't to be. If there's a more agile player like Aubameyang, even Jesus, they cook him. Yeah, but he's not, he's not that. He's a big lumbering guy. He's, I can't even, he's like Lukaku, bro. That's, and it sucks that I compare it to, because I think Lukaku is big and lumbering, but he can score. He didn't do too hot in our league, but in Italy, he's good. So I nickname him, call him the Swedish Lukaku. That's what I call him. So yeah, I think that if he gets an opportunity to score, he will. But we can't expect him to run past players. We can't expect him to, be like Holland, just bully. It's not who he is. But I gave him a 4 because I give all the attackers a 4. Let me look at the graphics because it's extremely tiny and I'm extremely blind. And try to remember who actually came on. Martinelli came on. Big up AJ Damad. I'm not saying he's like Lukaku. I'm saying like the style of player that he is he's more of a Lukaku than a Holland. Like Lukaku is a little bit of he's a lumbering guy. He's like a Mateta. He's like lumbering. I'm not saying he's trash, but I just think that style of striker, he's not gonna run past people and finesse you. He's a basher. He's a hammer. That's what he is. So looking at the let me see if I can find out who came on because my memory is not so good and I've been waffling, so you know me. There we go. So the substitute came on Martinelli, Norgard, and of course Kai. Martinelli is perfect. I don't know if I said it. Big up AJ, big up Godfrey as well. Martinelli is perfect for when people are tired. That's what he should be. He should be used for when they're tired legs, when people are exhausted. You put Martinelli on, and you let him run past him. Now, whether or not Martinelli gets us that red card, right? He gets us that red card because he cooks them. And also, Chelsea have a terrible record. They have a terrible defensive record. My thing with Pedro Neto, right? Pedro Neto. And I joked about it, but I said, why did you do that? If I'm a Chelsea fan, I'm furious. All you have to do is keep running with Martinelli. He will run the ball out of play for you. You just keep running down the line with him, bro. That's all you got to. We've seen it before. Faster fullbacks, faster guys, they keep up with him. They run him right out of play. Because he'll do this, shake and bake, lose the ball, and then you've basically lunged in and given him a free hit. So there was no need to do it, bro. I'm glad you did it. Well, maybe not, because I mean, it's not like we played a lot better. Um, after they went down to 10 men. But any other team, like, bro, he said Neto allowed himself to get, bro. Like Martinelli, and I always say this about Martinelli, bro. You got two types of Brazilians. You got like the posh Brazilians, and you got the favela Brazilians. I think Martinelli's a posh Brazilian. He does not strike me as a favela guy like Vinicius and Ronaldinho. Like that's not who he is. Martinelli, I always say he's Italian because that's how he plays. He does not play like a Brazilian. But thank God Odegaard season done, because now as they get a clean run at the 10. Part of me feels that maybe Odegaard is injured, but part of me feel like there was a falling out, bro. Like I have nothing to circumstance. Like that's just my feeling. I just feel like there was some sort of behind the scenes, because this knee issue. We know that Arteta, if he can, I mean, Saka was limping for 47 years. He was limping for 47 years, and we still played him. But not Odegaard. It just seems fishy to me. Martinelli off the bench is better when he starts. He stinks up the play. Yes, that is 100% true. When he starts, he's just like Trossard. He's yeah. Neto allowed himself to get cooked. Yeah. Who else came on? I'll get to you guys' comments in a minute. Who else came on? Kai Havertz didn't do much. Came on for Gyökeres. It's not like he got much service either. I think he was just running around for cardio. And then Christian Norgard did what we expected Christian Norgard to do. He tried to kind of shore things up in the midfield, but I don't think they had enough time. My question is, why can't Miles Lewis-Skelly get some time in midfield? Why can't Nani Madueke play against the team we bought? What? This is my issue with Arsenal. Why do we buy players from a team and then proceed to not play them against the team we bought them from? Christian Norgard didn't play against Brentford. Nani Madueke didn't play against Chelsea in the league. I'm not understanding it, bro. Let the man have some minutes. But we made 3 subs when we got 5. So Zubimendi naturally stayed on for the 90 minutes. Who else stayed on 90 minutes? Saka stayed on 90 minutes. Eze definitely stayed on. Timber also stayed on 90 minutes. And yeah, we got 3 goals. Timber, Saliba, and Piero and Capia. So Chelsea actually scored none. And own goals making another appearance for us. So, I mean for them at least. So that's the match. That's the match ratings. The subs bench, I'll give them the standard 5s. I don't think they did much. Martinelli didn't give the ball away, didn't cost us a goal. Christian Norgard came and showed up shot, and Kai Havertz ran around like a chicken with his head cut off. So that's kind of all I expect. Let's get back to the comments. Hold on, I'm slow, guys. I'm slow. Let me see if I can find it. So I got the comments thing on, but sometimes it just lags. So give me a second. AJ said, honestly, this summer, both Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli have to. Yes. We have to shore up that left side. That left side, if we do not address that this season, it's going to end up costing us. So we'll talk about that one first because you asked another question. But Godfrey and Liao. I definitely want Liao. Um, I think he'll be good. And then I would take Liao and then maybe a young, up and coming left winger. Just to, I don't think you need to buy two great left wingers. Our dream is maybe somebody like uh, Barcola or what's the dude from Real Madrid whose name I can't remember. Rodrigo, but I don't think either one of those is realistic. I think Liao is realistic. So getting him and then maybe getting like a younger project. But yeah, I think it's time for Trossard and Martinelli to move on. Um, then he asked Rican, Godfrey, how are you feeling with 9 to go? Like I said, AJ, at this point, I'm not caring about big up Cooper. I see you. At this point, I'm not caring about how we win. I just need us to win. And like Godfrey said, I'm taking it game by game. I'm relaxed right now, but performance needs to be better. I'm the same. Like I said, the player ratings I did bash, but I'm not upset. I'm happy that we won. It was ugly, but like I said, I'm more gassed that I did the watch along than I did the game. But it's a win. That's all I'm asking for. Like I'm not gonna get bent out of shape. I'm not gonna get upset about the performance. I don't care. I don't care about the performance. All I care about now is the 3 points. By hook or crook, 3 points. Why can't Luke Skelly be right substitute? No Garfield Zubimendi. I mean, I asked Taryn this on the live stream. I said, do you think that Christian Norgard in the Prem will reach 90 minutes total minutes? Do you think he will reach the equivalent of a full game? That's a hard question, bro. Because I think he's got what? He played 20 minutes today, I think. So what is that? 55 minutes? Do we think he's getting a 90? And that's a shame because we bought this guy. He's the captain of Brentford. He's a good player. He's not amazing. He's not. He's a better El Nini. That's what he is. He's the guy that you should bring on when you're trying to show up the game. Not leave Zubimendi out there for 90 minutes. You put him on, you maybe sit him next to Rice, you say nothing comes in the midfield, and then we'll ping some balls forward. If we want to play this defensive thing. How can we figure that out? But our 15 million year manager can't figure that out. So most important thing is get those 3 points no matter what. Exactly. Cooper, bless up, my friend. Nice to see you, Cooper. I know what time is it over there? It's like 2 o'clock? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in New York, I think. So you got the whole day ahead of you. And like you said, Cooper, we won, we move on. That's it. Ugly win, pretty win, set piece, penalty. Don't care. We win, we move on. That's it. That's all I expect. That's you guys talking. So yeah. It's good, man. I'm excited. I'm gassed. Um, it's March 1st. We got 3 points. We're still 5 points ahead of City, and that's all you could ask for. That's all you could hope for, being 5 points ahead of City. No major injuries coming out of this game. No one went down injured, which is great. Losing Martin Odegaard, I think, is both probably a good thing and not a good thing. I think that Martin Odegaard in certain games he would help us, but I also think that the pressure of being the captain gets to him. Big up views popping in. Appreciate it as always. I think the pressure on Martin Odegaard was a lot, and as I said, I hope that pressure doesn't get to Bukayo Saka, because now if Odegaard's going to be out the season, he's the captain. Which I told you guys this before. I don't think that he should be. I think that it should probably go to Declan Rice. But he is who's going to lead our team now. And for the next 10 games, or 9 games, He's who we got. He's the man. Bukayo Saka. You've got the armband. You've got the 300,000, and you have to show us that you're the guy. Godfrey says, "I prefer this player first and creating that five. I prefer this player first and creating that 5 point gap before City play." I think when we play first, it's a lot easier because we have, yeah, like you said, Arsenal are the best front runners in the league, bro. Like, so when we play first, if we can win, we play good. My biggest thing, and a lot of guys, views will probably say the same. If we go behind to City, I just don't feel that this team have that mental steel, that strength that City have to say, yes, we're behind, but we'll still win. Because we've never seen it. We've never seen it. We've never seen this Arsenal team go behind in the title race, on the league race, and claw it back. We've seen us drop points from ahead, but we've never seen us come from behind and win. And there's no evidence under this manager that we can do that. So if we go behind, it's long, bro. It's tough. But as long as we can stay 3 points ahead, 5 points ahead, until we meet City. Now that City game is gonna be everything. We beat City, then I think it's still gonna be tough because we still got matches after that. But if we beat City, we can breathe easy and hope that we can get over the line. If they win their game in hand and we're 2 points ahead, and we lose the City, there's not many. I just honestly, I don't think there's many Arsenal fans who will say, "Well, guys, we can claw it back." I don't think it's happening. So, like you said, Godfrey, we have to keep that 5 point gap and hope that City drop points. The issue with hoping that City drop points, and I told BBK this is why I'm not watching City. I can't do it because it's the hope that kills you. When we needed Tottenham to win, when we needed Man City to drop points, when we needed, this team or that team to help us out during the stretch, they didn't. Now, going against Liverpool, that was all us. In my opinion, going against Liverpool, that was all us. It wasn't, because Liverpool were dropping points, and then they would drop points, and we would say, all right, this is our chance. We can catch Liverpool, and then we drop points. That's not what this is. We're going against City. Liverpool are out of the... City are a different beast. City will win the last 10 games. We've seen it happen before. We saw it happen when we had an 8-point lead and we needed them to drop points. They didn't. We saw it when we went, 16-1-1 and we needed them to drop games and they didn't. This City team know how to go on runs. And we saw with them with Anfield, they can get a win when they need to. We saw at Ellen Road, they get a win when they need to because they have this. They have this. Arsenal haven't shown us that we have this yet. Do I think it's changing? The optimistic, the rationally delusional part says I think we are. Because there are times this season where I thought we were going to lose and we didn't. Today is probably one of them. I honestly thought that Chelsea were going to get a late minute equalizer. And it didn't happen. So I'm hoping that we can keep it going. I'm hoping we can keep the strength going. Garvey said, I didn't bother watching City Reds League and I don't intend on watching their games. I can't. No, man. You can't have a heart attack watching Arsenal games and then go have a heart attack watching a City game. Don't do that to yourself. Just focus on us. That's it. If we win 9 of the last 10, including against City, we win the title. That's all we got to do. 9 games. 9 games between us sitting here saying this or us sitting here going, well, that's 4 in a row. You bottled it. That's it, bro. That's it. So I'm only focused on 9 games. I don't care what City do. I don't care what United do. I don't care what Villa do. I don't care what... Actually, I do care what Spurs do. Because I kind of want them to be relegated. But then again, I don't. I want them to be relegated for Banks, but I don't want them to be relegated because that'll suck, We won't have the North London Derby, and that'd be tough because I like going to those games. But yeah, just focusing on us. Um, but yeah, today's a good day, bro. Today's a good day. I did a watch along. I did a preview. I'm doing the match review. Everybody's talking to me, and I'm gassed. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not gonna nitpick. You know, even though I did a player ratings, you could probably say, "Well, you just nitpick for an hour." But I'm just saying what I saw. Right? If I had seen a good performance, I would say it's a good performance. But and that's the thing. And I'll probably end on this because I'm pretty sure the missus is looking at me funny because I have been doing the YouTube thing for about 3 or 4 hours today. But champions win when they need to. Champions don't always win beautifully. Champions don't always have great performances. Champions win when they need to. Today, it was ugly. It was stinky. It was boring at times. It was nerve wracking at times. But at the end of the day, they did what we need them to. They got the 3 points. And in the business end, the final third of the season, that's all I can ask for. That's it. By hook, by crook, set piece, own goals, don't care how it's done. Will my heart still race when I'm watching Arsenal matches? Of course. Will I still be high when they're high? Of course. Will I be low when they're low? Of course. But the only thing that I can focus on is the next 9 games. As far as the Prem. And I said this on the stream as well. I want the Prem more than I want the Champions League. And that might sound goofy because you know, Arsenal have never won the Champions League. And you're like, oh, you know, it'd be a great trophy. I want the league. I want to be able to walk around Portsmouth, to walk around Southampton, to walk around Brighton, to walk around Bournemouth, because that's where I live in that cluster. I want to be able to walk in there with this jersey on, with that one, with that one, and people look at me and say, they did it, and I hate it. I got Spurs mates that I work with. I got United mates that I work with. I got United mate back home. I want to be able to post on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and people look at me and they are seething because we won the championship. We won the title. That's what I want. I want to go on holiday and see United fans and be like, dang, it's been a long time since you won that one. That's what I want to do. So for me personally, the next 9 games is the thing that I'm focusing on. The next 9 Premier League games. And the Carabao Cup. Because I honestly want to win a domestic trophy. I want to win the Carabao Cup. But I can't even bring myself to think about winning the Champions League. I want to win the Premier. I want to be able to say that we are the best team in England over 38 games. We played 19 teams twice and we got over the line. That's what I want. So if we have to stink out our way to the title, I'm not gonna hear, oh, you only won it because City weren't that great. I don't care because nobody was saying that to Liverpool. Don't care. If the league was that terrible, your team would have won. Oh, you only won it because City were bad. Well, why didn't your team win it, United? Why didn't your team win it, Villa? Why didn't your team win it, Chelsea? If everyone was so bad. We won, and I don't care. Because I'm going to see my captain's armpits. I'm going to be there at a trophy parade. I do not care. Anyway, it's been great. Thank you, Godfrey, for coming in. Thank you, Cooper. Thank you, AJ the Mod. Thank you, Pito. Thank you, Views, Uncle Views, for coming in. And yeah, Liverpool fans as well. Yeah, I got you. I got some Liverpool mates as well, Godfrey. I do. And I just want to be able to walk out with my chest. And I know that every Arsenal fan in the chat can feel this. Every Arsenal fan in the chat can feel the last 4 years. Not just the title races, falling short top 4. The last 4 years have been tough. Falling short to Tottenham. Watching Tottenham win the Europa League, a competition that we were in and couldn't win, couldn't even reach the final of. Watching Palace win the FA Cup. I got Palace fans taking a mic. I'm done with that, bro. I want to win something. And I think that we can. So for the next, as I said, the next 90 days, I'm on the bandwagon. I'll be rational and delusional for the next 90 days. That's it. And then whatever happens, it happens. But I expect a trophy. I expect a trophy. Let me just check, because this thing lags, and make sure there's no other comments before I go, because I don't want anybody to feel as I didn't that I didn't see their comment. But yeah. All right, you guys, take it easy. Thank you so much to everybody that stopped by. If you stop by and you're not you're not a subscriber, just hit the subscribe button. It's free. It helps me out. I'm 15 away from 400. I want to get to 500 before the end of the season, and I think that we can. I love the guys that are coming in and talking to me. I appreciate everybody who stopped by. I appreciate everybody who has a conversation, and I appreciate the community growing. As always, man, you guys take it easy. I hope you have the best day you can. Remember, Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night will be the Waffle House. We're talking about fandom. I really want you guys in. Godfrey, if you're available, Tuesday night, 8:15 UK time. If you're back in America like Cooper, that means that it's 3:15. But yeah, I hope to see you guys. Put your notification bells on. I will be there. We'll be waffling. We'll be having a good time. We'll have some conversation about being fans. And yeah, as always, take it easy, man. See you on the next one.